All right, it's the rundown. Wednesday, October 11th. It's your pal Clem. We are joined with Smitty, Big T, across 3 states right now to bring you all the latest and greatest in the Barstool world. And that is presented by the greatest drink, in my humble opinion, in the whole wide world, High Noons. It's time to load up the ice and break out the oversized long games because the High Noon Game Day Pack is back. It includes limited edition fan faves, pear and cranberry, along with black cherry and grapefruit, made with real vodka, real juice, 100 calories, gluten-free, and no added sugar. The High Noon Game Day Pack is a full exclusive, which means it's here for a good time, not a long time. So visit highnoonspirits.com before your next tailgate to find a pack near you. Big T's, the younger man on the show right now. He's going out tailgating, having his fun. Me and Smitty, we're in the grind of parent life. But you know what? Those high noons, they go down nice and easy, and you need them after a long day in the gutter with the kids right there. And there, Smitty has his right there.
Always one way to go. Always one in the chamber. Got a watermelon here. Got a passion fruit ready to go. Down at the stream bunker.
And then we'll get you we're going to get you the High Noon Game Day Pack, so you get the pear, cranberry, black cherry, and grapefruit, a delicious foursome of flavors right there. And we don't even have a foursome of MLB series left because we had our first casualty of the DS Division Series yesterday. The beloved Baltimore Orioles, who I feel like was kind of everyone's backup team. You know, it's like either you're rooting for your team or you're rooting against teams, which I'm rooting against both your teams. Not a surprise there. They go down to the Rangers 7-1, and the Astros are doing Astros things again. They win 7-1 and take the lead there. Smitty, what's your AL thoughts as someone that has a dog in the fight right now?
It's tough to see for the Orioles. They're young bucks. They overachieved last year. They overachieved even more this year. I think when gun to head, you ask any Orioles fan, they're probably still happy because they have that much of a future ahead of them. This isn't the 03 Marlins where like everything's going to get blown up for whatever reason, or 97 Marlins. So, I mean, they're fine. The Rangers are just Bruce Bochy, man. Bruce Bochy. I think he's the greatest modern day manager that we've seen. He's done it with the Giants 3 times, and the fact that he kind of came back with the Rangers under the radar. Yeah, they shit the bed towards the end of the year, but I mean, they could very easily be in the World Series. The Astros, dude, like they just turn it on. It's almost not fair how they turn it on every single year. They just do.
They're a machine. They're an absolute wagon, as the kids say. And they've saved my ass countless times. They've saved me from having to hear Yankees fans by beating them in the ALCS. They took care of the Phillies, obviously. My one beef with them is the goddamn Braves. They couldn't take that, and the Braves fans have rose from the ashes. So our Braves fan on the panel right now, what are your thoughts with looking across the league there?
If I wasn't going to pick the Braves to win the World Series, I'd pick them. They're kind of terrifying. I also hate, like, there's a long way to go, but if the Braves got to the World Series, I hate their ballpark. We have terrible memories there. I don't ever want to play there again. They're really good. And then, yeah, the Astros, there's no point in watching Astros games. Like, I actually thought the Twins kind of had a chance they won one in Houston. Like, they had Sonny Gray on the mound yesterday, and then they gave up, 4 runs in the top of the first. It was just over. Like, they're going to be in the World Series every year I actually think the Rangers could beat them this year, but they're going to be in the ALCS every year for the next 10 years, it's saying.
And this is, so obviously I think most people rightfully fear the Astros. The thing about the Rangers, though, they are being fueled by Creed right now. And did you guys see the fans were cheering? They were singing along with Creed. Obviously, the story came out that was kind of their rallying cry before games. All it takes is a song. The Phillies had it. What was the name of that song you guys had last year with the Phils?
Dancing on My Own.
It's
a song this year, too.
A song about being cucked. It's their favorite song.
All right. Yankee T in Illinois there. Okay, now. Settle down.
That's what the song's about.
I know, and you're a Yankee. You're a Yankee in Illinois, representing Tennessee, but a Braves fan. Go ahead.
The Astros are the Astros. Yordan Alvarez is terrifying. And the fact that the Dodgers traded him for, like, Josh Fields, I think a middle reliever, and no one brings it up, just shows how good the Dodgers are, because it's just a fucking system in itself. It's like, okay, we got rid of this guy, but we have 17 other guys that could just come up. But we got kind of a taste of what I want to talk about, which is the Braves and Phillies matchup, because you guys are I don't think it was listed in the Barstool Awards for best rivalry, but it's one of my favorite rivalries because it's new, it's fresh, and there's a little bit of heat there. So going into tonight, is it a night game? Braves Phillies game 3 tonight?
5:07.
5:07. I kind of like we have a nice full slate today during the day. Braves at Phillies. Smitty, how are you, the entire city of Philadelphia, and more importantly, Max? How's Max doing after that game 2? Just absolute gutting thing. There was a time, people forget, when Big T started here, he was the guy that was just getting his heart ripped out every single week by like Tennessee. I think the Braves had some stuff. And now Max has become the guy where Big T had it with like on like a random October Saturday, like Tennessee would lose a game. Max is like going to championships, literally going to the Super Bowl, and then getting gut punch, dick punch, every single bad part of your body punched, and somehow bouncing back from this. So it was a wild finish to game 2, and now we're going to game 3.
Hey, I love Max. We're good. We're good friends. I appreciate him taking the brunt of all the disaster that happens right now, but he's also going to get the glory when it does occur. And tonight is, and we'll know by the time this airs how it's going to be going. It's obviously the series. Like, that's not a hot take. Like, 5-game series, 3 at home. I think the Phillies are done if they don't win this. Braves might have a chance to come back because they get game 5 at home and Strider at 4. But I mean, the Phillies have to win this, and it's Aaron Nola's most important day of his life. He's pitching for tens of millions of dollars right now, being a free agent. And if he can shut down historically the most impressive offense in Major League Baseball history, he's going to get a payday. Big T, what I want to hear from you is, are you excited that the bats are officially back for the Braves? Because they won last game, obviously. Do you know how many hits they had?
No, it was 0 through 5. I bet they had 4 or 5 hits.
They had 4 hits. The bats are back, though, baby. You hear the fan base. The bats are back. We'll see. You're historically the greatest offense to ever play the game. You scored 4 runs in 2 games. You had 4 hits. Last game, the Phillies left 11 men on base last game. I'd say the Phillies are playing better ball overall, but it comes down to the night. So we'll see, Big T. We'll see.
Smitty, what are you 1 to 10 right now about just game 3? Not the whole series, just game 3. What is your confidence level in terms of Nola, everyone bouncing back, all that kind of stuff, since, as you said, we'll be in the middle of the game by the time the rundown is posted?
So you have Aaron Nola, who's been very volatile this year, but the last 3 starts has pitched like an absolute dominant ace on the mound. Yeah, you have Bryce Elder, who big-time confidence for the Braves to just announce the player who everybody thought was going to be pitching just like 2 minutes ago. So huge confidence in him. Once he's done, because it's probably going to be a bullpen game, you have, what's his name? Schuster? Or not
AJ Smith-Shawver.
Yes,
who's
20 years old, probably coming on, and then the rest of the bullpen. And then you have the fan base at Citizens Bank Park. I believe the Phillies are 24-11 at Citizens Bank Park all time, which is statistically the greatest home field advantage at any ballpark ever, at any stadium. So they've been tailgating since 7 a.m. They're going to be ready to go. My confidence level right now is a solid 8, and Vegas agrees. Phillies are minus 125 right now.
Ooh, can we get it on the ball scale? So what is an 8? Is that a 4 out of 5 on the ball scale?
That statistically, that is exactly a 4 out of 5 on the
4
ball
to 5
scale.
On the ball scale. Big T, how are you feeling? And give me your balls scale ranking on tonight's game.
I mean, game 3 was always going to be their biggest advantage because we have Bryce Elder pitching, who has not been good recently. But I do think the series should be over. It should be donezo.
Yeah.
And the momentum shift, I think, was big enough that, like, I mean, if they've done nothing offensively aside from one huge homer the whole series. So if you can't get it going tonight, like, then you're down 2-1 again. I feel good. They're only going to let Elder go once through the order, probably. I feel good. I would say 3.7 balls.
That's less than 4 balls. Big T, how would you respond to the tweet where you allege that the Braves were cheating this year?
That was a joke. I don't know if you can discern.
I can't. We can bring it up and read it.
They might. We don't know. They might have been. Who knows?
Okay. You're the one who tweeted it. You said that they've had to have been cheating this year.
When they were getting no hit through 5, absolutely.
Okay.
And I don't know if you saw there, somebody in the crowd was whistling. Maybe that's what it was.
Well, and then that's when the 2 home runs happen.
I'm sure those were the only 2 pitches that somebody whistled. So.
I don't believe in the whistle theory. If anything, Jeff Hoffman throwing that slider to Austin Riley is just egregious. Well, not Riley couldn't hit any
It was 2
fastball
dick middle
whatsoever.
hangers.
Yeah, it's just awful. But the fact that it's 1-1 and you're talking about momentum, hopefully catching on, going back to the bank. I mean, that makes me feel even better.
I mean, they played the worst baseball I've ever seen for 16 innings. It should be over.
What's your take on Orlando Arcia poking the bear of Bryce Harper?
So that report came from a guy who runs a meme Twitter account, and like Orlando Arcia has never even spoken English in an interview.
I know.
So number one, I'm pretty sure it didn't happen. Number 2, if it did happen, it's a non-story. And 3, regardless of whether or not it happened, that guy's never allowed into a major league locker room ever again. So I guess if like whether it happened or not, like good for him, I guess.
I kind of agree with you.
Believe that happened.
I kind of agree with you on all 3, but hey, if that Bryce Harper heard just the text and the quote, you're poking the bear, baby. You're poking it.
Sure.
As someone that would just love for an asteroid to drop on the stadium tonight, this feels like the NLCS though, because it's like the Diamondbacks are up 2-0 on the Dodgers, which it feels like the Dodgers are doing their vanishing act again. And unless it's another Marlins Diamondbacks like miracle run from one of those expansion teams from the late 90s, it just feels like it's going to be, this is basically it. This is the big boy series right here.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks are perfectly built to win a 3 and 5 game series. They get exposed in a 7-game series for sure. Yeah. And I want to hear your boys' thoughts. I wouldn't even let Dave Roberts finish the fucking series. He needs to go. The fact that he hasn't won multiple real championships and every single year this happens in the playoffs to him, I don't care if he wins 140 games every regular season. He's got to fucking go.
It is crazy.
You go, Big T. You go.
I mean, it's just like they win 110 games every single year, and they won one title, and it was fake. I'm actually glad we didn't win that one. We saved it for a real season. Like it's uncanny. It really is. Like Clayton Kershaw went back to being 24 years old this year. He was unbelievable, and then gives up 9 runs or however many it was. It's crazy.
I remember back when in 2015, whenever they would show Don Mattingly in the dugout during the Mets series, I'm like, all right, we have a chance. Donnie Baseball is calling the shots. And it's the same, like they got rid of Don Mattingly and everyone in the National League like, shit, they're going to get in a manager to at least not be an active disadvantage to them. And then I don't know if he's worse or the same, but the Dodgers have figured out every part of baseball, the baseball factory, other than the manager. So it's almost like the only thing keeping it fair at this point. It's the only thing that's balancing it out. I mean, the Braves, whatever the fuck they're doing, that's getting these guys to agree to those contracts. But it's like them and the Dodgers just seem like they're going to be 100+ wins every single year. But the Braves actually show up in October occasionally. So thank God for Dave Roberts. He's doing a great job. If anyone from the Dodgers organization is watching, give him an extension. He did great. He stole that stolen base against Mariano, right? So God bless Dave Roberts, an absolute hero to all of us Mets fans and Yankees haters and Barstool. He probably helped keep the lights on here long enough for us all to get jobs. So shout out to him. You guys are going to do a live stream, I imagine, if there's a game 5, all, nuts on the table. And have you guys ever done a bet against each other in the playoffs? I feel like a good tattoo bet or something could go on the line here if we really step it up.
I am retired from tattoo bets. I'm one and done. But if Mr. Knapp would like to do anything of worth, I'm open to it.
All right. We'll workshop that. We'll workshop that. We have to get there first. You guys both 4 balls, 3.7 balls, both feel pretty confident heading into the game that is taking place as we speak right now in the real world. Moving along, the real world, we're going to Hollywood now. Turns out Will Smith smacking the shit out of Chris Rock might have had a little more backstory to it because Jada Pinkett revealed that her and Will have been separated since 2016, which, quick math, 7 years now. That's an outrageous thing to just keep hidden in plain sight. And then B, it says here, reports by the 7 blogs that people are writing right now, that Chris Rock asked out Jada Pinkett at some point during that separation, whether or not how much of that was known, if it was run by Will first, all that kind of stuff. Smitty, what do you make on this? Our boy from West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame that Overbrook has come to this, because Will Smith was my number one growing up, and even until like pretty recently when it just came out how weird he is and his personal life. Like it just takes knots. It's a damn shame, because he was up here basically my entire life. You're talking musically, you're talking as an actor. He's still a phenomenal talent as an actor. He slapped the shit out of Chris Rock, still went up to get an Oscar after, which is absurd if you think about it. But he, for the longest time, could do no wrong, not only in my eyes, but in the public's eyes. And now he just realized he's a weird fuck duck. It's weird.
Maybe he was listening to that song, the Philly song. What's it again? Dancing.
I was just fixing to say, maybe I'm putting some things together here. This seems like a Philadelphia recurring theme here.
Is that how they get down in Philly, Smith? Is that true?
Wait, what, getting cucked? Look, if I were able to live a life of being an Oscar-winning actor that portrayed the likes of Muhammad Ali and to win Grammys and to be celebrated as one of the greatest entertainers of all time, and I get cucked every once in a while, so be it. Whatever.
Big T, is this a fair? If you had found out your wife had been asked out by this guy, fellow actor, same industry, all that kind of stuff, is a slap? It's not a punch. Is a slap a fair, rebuttal to that, to doing something like that behind your back?
I guess, but also Will Smith has just, if my wife was like, hey, we're going to get secretly divorced, but like not actually divorced, but you still have to like go out with me in public and pretend, like that's Will Smith's fault for like still acting like they're married. Like,
the whole
that's
thing's
really
weird.
Weird. They're weird people.
Whole thing is weird. And also, you look back at that slap, Will Smith laughs at the joke until he looks at Jada Pinkett's reaction and then clams up. Sorry.
I still think that was fake.
The Big T conspiracy corner.
I still think it's fake. Nobody just, it was so rehearsed and like they're not even married. It was fake.
What's the biggest conspiracy theory on your mind right now, Big T? The Braves?
We can't talk about it.
Oh, we can't. Is it something to do with Hunter or the election?
No. I mean, that's not even a conspiracy. We found in the White House. Don't know who it belongs to.
Moving along, we'll go north of the border. Well, not seriously, but in Pittsburgh right now, we had a giant. So it was opening night of the NHL, Penguins, Blackhawks, and a giant Fire Canada chant emerges from the stands because Matt Canada is, I guess, enemy number one in Pittsburgh these days. Blackhawks win. Connor Bedard gets an assist. Shout out Chief. I'm sure he's a happy little boy right now. But Smitty, as the guy who has told me for years just how awful Howie Roseman is as an executive, and then all he does is like build Super Bowl teams with different coaches, quarterbacks, and everything else. Are you proud of your Pennsylvania brothers here for kind of just like picking an enemy and going at them? Because this feels very Philly to me more than Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I'm not the only one who's on the anti-Howie train. He turned it around. I mean, granted, you give anybody a situation where they're at a job for 12 years, unless you name Adam Smith, they probably figure it out. But I feel for Canada a little bit, but he's hated there. He's hated there. And the clip of Kenny Pickett throwing the only touchdown of the game, letting it loose, and him just not even celebrating. And allegedly it's because it wasn't his play call. Like, you got to show a little better face than that, Canada. Who gives a fuck was your play call or not? Celebrate. I mean, Kenny Pickett just balled out for you. Like, I get the hate. It's extreme though. It's definitely extreme.
How about you, Big T? I feel like you could have some extreme hating you sometimes. If you got hang your heart, let it out, right? As a man from Atlanta once said.
Yeah. And I mean, that's, everybody there is a Steelers fan, so go for it. Like everywhere Matt Canada's been has tried to tell the next guys like, hey, this guy kind of sucks. Like LSU, Maryland, they were all like, thank God this guy's out of here. And now obviously he's done it again.
Yeah, I love it because just from a New Yorker point of view, we're such a divided city, state, whatever you want to call it, because it's like Mets fans hate the Yankees, so it's like, or Jets fans, Giants fans don't really get along. There's rarely a time where the whole city can come together and be like, fuck this one person, we hate his guts. Dolan's basically the closest guy we've had to that, but even Rangers fans are like, he forgets we even exist half when the Knicks are in town because he's too busy fucking with them over the years. So I kind of love that Pittsburgh has like united. I love that they all wear the same color. I think more cities should all have the same color across sports. And it was just kind of nice to see. And the fact it happened during a hockey game, it's not if it was a Canadian team they were playing, like Pittsburgh was playing the Maple Leafs, and they're just yelling "Fire Canada," and the fucking players like, what the hell are these idiots talking about? That would have been great, but unfortunately, it was Penguins Blackhawks. Next up, Missouri teacher was suspended for having an OnlyFans. She resigned to focus on her art. This is the OnlyFans teacher of the day who got suspended, left, and is probably making $1 bazillion as of this. Big T, what are your thoughts on OnlyFans in general or this teacher?
Those are two very separate questions. This teacher, good for her. I mean, she's probably making 10 times what she was as a teacher on OnlyFans. Like, no skin off her back. OnlyFans in general, it's a very separate conversation.
Fair enough. This is a kid's show still. So, Smitty, what do you take on this Missouri teacher?
Hey, Stu Feiner states for a fact that there are multiple employees at Barstool Sports making well over 6 figures on OnlyFans. Good for any teacher who can go out and get their own. Teaching is unfortunately getting disrespected in this country, and if teachers need to go out and make a couple extra bucks on the side, go nuts.
The secret to honestly OnlyFans, it seems, just getting an OnlyFans if you're have a market for it, I guess, and then to get fired from your old job. So then the New York Post writes about it, which then means we write about it from a New York Post article, and then a bazillion people see your picture, get a link to your page, and then Glenny Balls has you on a show in like a week later. So it all works out in the end. So shout out to Brooklyn Love is her OnlyFans name. That's also a hell of a doozy. Did we all have like the one teacher we had a crush on growing up? Is that fair? I had, yeah. Imagine just being able to, steal mom and dad's credit card, go on OnlyFans and, get a little intimate. That would have been a very interesting, as you're going through puberty, you have the hormones rushing through you. The kids these days are living a very, very different life than we had growing up. Next up, much different side of the world here. Man set the record for the world's biggest pumpkin, 43-year-old teacher in Minnesota. Another win for the teachers out there. Travis Granger, 49 pound pumpkin, beats the old record by 47 pounds. And people speculate the pumpkin could produce 687 pies. Smitty, give me all your thoughts on gourds right now.
I have one thought, and I'm stealing it from Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park. Just because you think you could doesn't mean that you should. Who the fuck needs a pumpkin over 2 tons?
I think we should stop going with the bigger pumpkins. If I want to see something that gross, I'll just take my shirt off and look in the mirror. I don't need to see these giant pumpkins. Make the world's smallest pumpkin. That would be fucking cool. Just this little thing, and it has a little round thing, has the little stem on top. Enough with God knows what kind of shit they're pumping into this pumpkins. Balco, Barry Bonds, Cream Clear, all that shit. T, do you have any large T? Do we have any thoughts on the pumpkin here?
I'd like to see it. I have no frame of reference for what a 2,700 pound pumpkin looks like. I'd just be curious to see it.
It's got to be the size of a car, right? Just has to be.
Yeah, probably.
I'm kind of intrigued now. I didn't even look at the picture of the pumpkin. It is not the size of a car, it's basically like the size of a forklift, front to back, but not.
That's the size of a smart car.
Yeah, I guess a smart car. That's fair to say.
It's one big pile of pumpkin.
Yeah, 2,700 pounds right there. Big T, do they are pumpkins big in the South? Because like in the Northeast, fall, that's a big thing. You go pumpkin picking with the family, but I don't know if that's really, I don't know if pumpkins even grow down South.
I don't know if they grow. I do know, you can go to the pumpkin patch and pick one out and go on a hayride, and every town's got their little fall festival.
Yep. Okay.
That whole thing.
I've never even thought about it till just now. I didn't know if that was if the climate was good for it there. So interesting. Learn something new every day, I guess. Also, might get canceled for this take. I fucking hate pumpkin spice stuff. I've never liked it. When I used to get pumpkin pie back in the day, I just put some whipped cream on my pie, eat the whipped cream, and throw the pie in the garbage. I think apple should be the flavor of fall. I believe apple, who doesn't love apple cider donuts? It's American as apple pie, right? It's just an American thing. Is that something that's going to get me in trouble? Big T's nodding his head. I think I might have Big T on my side here.
I don't like hate pumpkin spice or anything, but it doesn't, it doesn't do anything for me. But yeah, everything apple's great.
Yeah, I think
They're both fun.
I think that take needs to be approved by Kelly Keegs before I approve or disapprove anything.
Oh yeah, I don't want to get Keegs at me. The Swifties, if like Taylor Swift's a big pumpkin spice fan, that's a good way to end up dead. Then we're gonna wrap things up here. This was a Big T specialty right here. The Japanese Prince Fielder. First off, incredible way to just kind of set the stage there. The Japanese Prince Fielder will be playing college baseball in the United States. 17-year-old Rintaro Sasaki, who hit a Japanese high school record, 140 home runs and batted .413. Instead of being the #1 pick for the Nippon Professional Baseball Draft, he's coming to the States to play college ball, 6 foot, 250 pounds, and right now is leaning towards Vanderbilt. Big T, that little snippet that John Rich gave us of explaining this guy got me excited. Take me home, because I'm telling you right now, he's my favorite college baseball player of all time.
So I'd never heard of him until yesterday, and then I saw a couple tweets about like, hey, this guy he was going to be the #1 pick in Japan, and he's playing college baseball instead. And I started reading up on him, and I'm obsessed with this kid now. He's 6 foot, 250. His swing looks just like Bryce Harper, like his follow through and everything. I was like, that is Bryce Harper's swing. He's incredible, and those 140 homers are in 3 years. High school's 3 years in Japan. He's hitting 43 a year.
That was my first question before I saw any clips. Is this kid just hitting soft toss, or is Japan high school 8 years?
Or 46 a year? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, 3 years, 140 homers. He's unbelievable, and apparently he's between Vandy and Cal. Listen, Rintaro, if you're watching this, Vanderbilt used to be a proud baseball program, won a couple national titles back in the day. That's great. They're not even the best program in Tennessee anymore. Don't do that. Go to Cal. If you want to go to Cal, that's awesome. Stay on the West Coast, like closer to Japan. I can't have this kid at Vanderbilt because I love him, and I can't have that.
Can we get old Mincy out there? I know Mincy's making moves with NIL and Brick Watch. Can we get this kid to Ole Miss? Tell me the Japanese Prince Fielder and Ben Mintz sitting down, breaking bread, and going cruiting here. The video makes itself at the very least. I will root for Ole Miss if he can get him there. That would be incredible.
It would never happen, but I would love it if this kid just went to like a small Rust Belt school. Like the University of Ohio.
and hits 140 home runs next season, basically.
Well, he can't get an NIL deal because he's from overseas. So, like, wherever NIL has nothing to do with it.
That sounds like it shouldn't be.
Well, that's happened with, like, remember Oscar Shibwe had that happen? I think it's happened with several guys.
So only American citizens can get NIL deals?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't sound cool to our Japanese Prince Fielder at all.
Yeah, the whole reason I thought he was coming here was to get that NIL cash. If he was the first, I imagine he's the first like big time Japanese player to try to come over here for college baseball. Is that fair to say?
I think for college, yeah. Because if you go play in the Japanese league, you have to wait however many years it is to get posted or whatever to come play in the MLB. And now he can do it in 3 years.
What is that age? Because we haven't seen anybody younger than
it's a while.
24, 25, right? How old was Otani? Because Ichiro was pushing 30.
It's
it's a good amount of years.
Yeah, so was Godzilla. He was almost 30 when he came over.
Yamamoto, who I've become obsessed with because the Mets were dead basically 4th of July. That's all I've had to think about is next year's free agent class. He's 25 right now, and he's won 3 Cy Young awards in a row over there. So
so you want him and Senga?
I want him, Senga, and let's make sure we tank in 3 years so we get the Japanese Prince Fielder playing, and we can move Pete to DH if he's still around. I think that's kind of the way to go.
Move Pete to DH. How about move Vogelback? Finally.
There was a tweet that said, like, should the Mets consider bringing Vogel back? And I'm like, what are we doing right now? As much as I love the guy, it was a wild 2022. It was a beautiful moment. We've all those like memeable guys that you love. I think the time has moved on from our guy, Danny Vogelback.
Hey, when he's making like dirt poor money, he's easy to keep around.
Yeah, $4 million. He doesn't play a position and he only can, basically get on base. But I mean, this day and age, $4 million, that's like a fair price in Uncle Stevie's world. Aftershow. We had an all-time dozen moment the other day. Arian Foster on for a good 40 minutes playing against Marty's team. Then goes, oh, that's the hot dog guy. I see you on TV before talking about Joey Chestnut. First of all, Marty getting Keith Yandel and Joey Chestnut as his dozen teammates is such a hilarious, like, Jeff starts a show in the middle of the pandemic, and then Joey Chestnut and Keith Yandel are just members of Barstool team. All-time moment. Big T, you were there for that, how that all went down, right?
Yep.
So
to be fair to Arian, Joey Chestnut didn't say a word the entire show. Like, you would have forgotten he was there.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yes, at the beginning, Arian probably should have seen him and been like, "Oh, hey, that's." I don't know how he went 45 minutes, but it was hilarious.
I always love thinking of seeing the Barstool world through Arian's lens. Like, I saw the other day, he tweeted, like, there's some pretty cool people here at Barstool, you know what I mean? And I imagine he probably thought that when you golf 18 with Trent, you're like, man, there's some pretty fucking cool ass people here, because Trent's just that kind of guy that could just make your world a little brighter. Smitty, you saw the clip, I imagine too, right?
Yeah, it was very funny. Very funny. How you're liking your chances now, Big T? Can you compete with the ZDs? Can you compete with the ZDs and the balls?
Oh, I mean, well, we were a tournament team last year, did very well, and Jeff created this. Jeff has been against us. He created this whole little fake tournament to try to keep us out. And so we're gonna piss on that, and we're gonna win every game we play, and we're gonna get back, and we're gonna do what we did last year and be even better.
Hey, man, Arian keeps making clips like this. Jeff's going to have no choice but to, kind of give you those dozen rig, bonus points that nobody can seize. Bump you. Is this your favorite conspiracy? I think we found Big T's favorite conspiracy theory. It's that macrodosing is being
That's not even a conspiracy theory. I mean, we'd win a game by 7 points and then drop 4 spots. Oh, the fan vote. Sorry, can't do anything about it. It's a non-merit based competition. And so we just have to, all we can control is what we can control.
That's a good way to put it. Good way to think about it. How's anything new in Uptown Balls? I feel like you guys are kind of just on autopilot. Nothing. You guys will just do your thing. And
yeah, Tommy and Glennie are both superstars now. So hopefully Uptown Balls doesn't get left in the back burner. But we're always a great team. We always come together. We had a little championship hangover last year, but we'll be all right. We'll be fine. We'll clutch up.
You guys will be good. We with ZD, me and Eddie, we made it to, I think, the Sweet 16 of the 1-versus-1 battle. Got wiped out by KB, who just wiped out everyone. It was good to know, it's when your team loses to the team that was the championship, you're like, they just had it. No one was beating that fucking guy at that game. That became pretty clear. And we need Dave to talk us into the right answers. He is the captain of the year for a reason. Thank you, Dave Portnoy, for giving us all great lives and saving us from whatever hell we would have without you. So that's the rundown. I don't really think there's anything else for the after show. I'm sure you guys will be battling on the Twitter streets as this is going on live, because it'll be Braves Phillies game 3. So this is going to be exciting to see it all go down.
The Braves have never beaten the Phillies in a postseason series. Is that correct, Big T?
They're 0-2 over the last 40 years.
Is it a factual statement?
Sure.
Yes is the correct answer. Yes.
Okay. Congrats.
Thank you.
That's the rundown.
Fucking security guard walked in here with Chick-fil-A that I didn't order and just set it down. I was like, that's not mine. And even if it was, I'm doing something.